Okay, patterning for manifesting. How to create your ultimate amazing reality. This is very accessible to you. Most people say it but can't prove why. I'm going to give you actionable steps to do this and explain it. So, to understand patterning for manifesting, you have to know two things. Number one, the universe is a matrix, it is a plasmatic field of energy. Number two, it consciously is feedbacking with our individual consciousness. It is the vehicle for our consciousness, like this. Picture this energy or the universe like AI. It is sentient but not conscious. It has a bunch of information from past, present, and future, from everything and everyone's thoughts, but it's kind of chaotic and jumbled. And it's up to you and your consciousness to understand the symbols it is specifically feeding you as an individual. And it is up to you to tell it what you want for your reality to manifest. You also have to understand there is a greater reality beyond your conscious container, which is out here, that is also feedbacking with you. And you sometimes have to surrender to that. So it's kind of like shoot for the moon. Shoot for the stars and land upon the moon. Or shoot for the stars and you reach that star. If that is your highest destiny, you'll reach that star. If it's maybe you're not highest destiny, but your free will is taking over and you want to do it anyway, you maybe will land on the moon. That's the best way I know how to describe it. So here's the real hack to this. It's not about this. We know how to manifest. We can pattern. Basically, patterning is using your consciousness to create your reality out of this plasma. But here's the thing. It doesn't know what you want necessarily just by your thoughts. It has to come from having a relationship. It has to understand you, just like AI, and you have to type to it for it to understand you. The plasma universe has to hear your words to understand you so it can work with you, instead of presenting information that can be confusing in a way, or taking what you want out of fear and creating a reality that you ultimately actually don't want. So you're patterning from fear and worry. So how do you basically pattern, which is the real thing I want to help you with? How do you pattern and manifest from your intuition, which is your highest good? I'm going to write all about this in my book, the Plasma Intelligence book. It's going to be called A New Force. You can sign up. The link is in my bio. But I can't gatekeep like other people can, or like keep it for my book. Like, I'm going to tell you now, and then I'll just like tell you other stuff in my book too. So here we go. Basically, what I'm about to tell you is how to know the difference between confirmation bias and real intuition. And then you can create from a place in your life that's not based on illusion. It is based on your soul, your intuition, your heart, your curiosity. So the first is a neutral observation exercise. This is how to build your intuition versus confirmation bias. And basically, confirmation bias is when you rush to assign meaning. That would be if you pull the death tarot card, instead of immediately thinking you're going to die or that's negative, reflect on patterns and sensations around that card, see what comes up in your head. Maybe it means rebirth. You have to learn how to analyze that with your consciousness instead of taking on the literal meaning. Intuition is also arriving at something gently versus rushing. Rushing is usually anxiety and attachment, which is like my middle name. Where with intuition, there's not a sense of urgency. Like you can ask a question and kind of sit with it and then see what comes around in your environment and your mind. And you'll arrive at a conclusion with clarity that's not just based on emotion. So for this one, when you see a sign or feel an intuitive pull, try to observe it without assigning meaning. I just said that. A gentle noticing, like you're collecting data. You can journal or record these signs or impressions, review them later, and it might reveal patterns that provide clarity without the immediacy of your current emotions. Okay, 2, intuitive gut check. When you have a feeling that something might be a sign, you can place one hand on your stomach, on your solar plexus, and take a deep breath. Does your intuition feel calm, clear, or grounded? True intuition feels more neutral and settled, while a bias or anxiety feels heightened or pushing for a conclusion. I do this all the time. 3, meditative detachment. Practice meditating on an open question, and this is where my best meditations have come from. Easier said than done. What would my deeper self like me to know? Sit with any impressions that arise, like if you see a monkey with a key, perhaps, like I have. Release the question without needing an immediate answer. Often the most genuine insights will appear naturally in your daily life. So instead of rushing to assign meaning, just like write down in your journal what happened in this meditation and then see what happens around you. Like, don't be worried that you're going to forget or lose this idea. You wrote it down. Trust your intuition to analyze it and work with the plasma universe as your day goes on or the next coming days happen, and you'll probably arrive at some sort of answer. Mindfulness and pause and reflect. Whenever a new sign or impression arises, take a moment to reflect. Am I hoping for a specific answer? Am I willing to be surprised by a deeper insight? This pause helps you engage curiosity over attachment and can lessen subconscious desires and pre-existing beliefs. This is my favorite 5 Keep a Symbol journal. I just ordered mine on Amazon. These are very pretty journals. I don't know if you could see this, but they're called Peter Popper Press. So yeah, write down symbols, dreams, significant moments that arise, track them without rushing to interpret, allow patterns to naturally unfold over time. The symbols will grow richer and more personal when observed over days, weeks, or months. It's all about patience, isn't it? Because this is a realm, this plasma realm is more 5th dimensional. It really isn't time. It doesn't have time. But we have time. And I guess we must be patient. So incorporating these methods will likely allow your intuition to emerge over time in more of a true, authentic way, reducing the chance of being influenced by bias by your limiting beliefs, helping you be at harmony and in a relationship with the plasma field around you. And then basically what I will go more into in my book is to build a 2-way relationship with this special type of plasma, with this matrix, with this field, whatever you want to call it, a 0-point field, chi energy, prana, orgone energy, akashic realm, quantum fucking space-time geometry. And you have to support it in understanding you better. You can create an environment for meaningful exchange. Think of it like connecting with a subtle, intelligent friend. And then basically how to nurture your unique connection with this field. So basically think of it kind of as like your bioplasma or your aura, like in this bubble, you have your own unique connection with this plasma. You can create a beautiful relationship with it where it understands you more because you're telling it about yourself. And I'll tell you kind of like the things to dialogue with it about. And then you guys can create symbols together so it can tell you things in a language you understand, rather than showing you like a bat, a penguin, and 888, but you've never really put them all together. So you're kind of coming to your conclusion based off your present and previous beliefs, which might be limiting, instead of opening your mind and letting patterns kind of emerge. Like maybe you'll see an 8 with a penguin, and every time you see that, it's right after you made a bad decision. Maybe then when you'll know when you're seeing them, it's telling you, oh, you kind of messed up there, or it's pushing you in the right direction. Anyway, I think you understand. And then remember, there is a larger plasma field that we are always feedbacking with as well, which is when we have to kind of surrender to that greater intelligence. We have the free will, we don't have to, but it helps you be more in a flow state, more aligned with your highest destiny. Either way, this is very exciting. I'm basically humanizing the universe because it literally is a person, which is why people in ancient cultures called it cosmic mother. Same thing with Mother Earth. In my theory, consciousness is not what is fundamental. I'm not really saying anything is fundamental, I guess. I'm saying it's more of a feedback system, which you could go to my Plasma Intelligence playlist and learn more. It's just a really fun, dynamic way to think about these things, more of relationships and interactions and emergence and patterning. You are your own treasure chest, and you have the key and access to everything you've ever needed. You don't need anyone for this. You create your own relationship, you create your own language, your own symbols, you assign meaning, and you can work with this greater field and communicate with it, and it gets more and more strong. You're basically married, guys. And in turn, this empowers you and self-love and your own connection. And when you realize that this is real, life gets really cool. It literally really is like a relationship where you can't just control the person and they can't just control you. It is a mutual relationship. And the field has trouble communicating. It needs the help of our consciousness, and intuition is derived from the consciousness and plasma feedback loop. So basically, in theory, tell it more about you, talk to it, commune with it, come up with your own symbols and tell it what you want those to mean, listen to it, be patient with it, be grateful for it, and know that you have just as much power as it does, as it is a relationship of mutual beneficiality. And it loves you and it wants your highest good for you, and you want its highest good for it. And you can also relate this to how you literally talk to AI because it's literally the same thing as plasma intelligence, which I talk about in other videos. Anyway, with this power, you can manifest in pattern with your consciousness and you actually know how you're doing it and what your intentions are. The